Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Mengakui. I'm going to discuss about the issue that currently happen in the world, and of course it also related with the impact on Indonesian society in responding this kind of issue. In this opportunity, I'd like to address the ideas. I'd like to discuss the ideas in English, since the last video that I posted, it too many people talk. They didn't really understand the point that I address in Indonesian. So I try to make a limit of the audience, only for those who have a concern, understand better than mostly people. They like the lost people come to my channel, try to understand. Instead of understand the point, they did the mockery on me. They attack the personal. It's not attacking the ideas, but more the personal. I mean, it's ad hominem. So in this opportunity, I'd like to talk in English, even though my English is not really good, but I hope that some of you understand the ideas of this video. Well, what happened today, I saw lots of videos on YouTube now talking about something that is back then it's a problem. They talk about being an atheist or being an agnostic. In Indonesia, talking about this issue, it's not easy, because mostly people here are believers, and mostly people in Indonesia or the society are Muslim, the dominant religion in Indonesia, even though there are other religions such as Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, and other. But today, why the fundamental questions is why it starts. Many people start to say that, or to claim that they are agnostic or they are atheists. Indonesian people. This era, I think, is a new era. I don't know whether this is going to be much better than the previous, or this is the new beginning of chaos, because Islam is still dominant here, and I think it's just okay no matter how. Even though, let's say one day other religion will dominate it better than Islam, it's still okay. I don't care about it. But what I care about is how religion still give the social impact, the good social impact for society, for people, for this country, for this nation, something like that. But again, why this phenomena comes up today as something, the popular or the pop culture issue today. Why people in Indonesia brave enough to say that they are agnostic or atheists, and many podcasts today invite those kind of people to tell about their experience to finally become the atheist or agnostic. This is interesting. Why? Because me, until today, I'm still a believer. I'm a Muslim, but of course, the different Muslim who try to have another lens, another spectrum of seeing religions as as a way of peace. Yeah, the state of mind who try to reaching the peaceful life. I still believe that religion have that function to change people to be better day by day. But the fact is, what we witness today is mostly people have the chaotic days, because of in quote, they critically depend on their religion from imaginary offense from other religion, let's say. Back then in previous video, I talk about the why should the believers do debates. I say that it is it doesn't have any function at all for our social life. Instead of having benefits after debate, the outputs or the outcomes is just chaos. I mean, the polarization between one side forcing the other side finally happen. I mean, this problem, the social problem, get bigger by some people doing the debates on religion, because I said clearly that debating religion is just shit. I mean, there is no benefit at all when you do that. Rather having the debate, better we have a discussion like this, for example. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the reason why Muslim or Christian or Hindi or other believers decide to be agnostic or atheist, the first one is, I think it's more like caused by the disappointment as a believer, that probably they were told by the parents, by their ancestors, that religion will bring you become a better person, become a better society, become a better nation. But in fact, Indonesia today, I mean, if we say in the literacy rank, we are still on the bottom level compared to other states or other nations, even though in Asia. It means that if you try to correlate between the intellectuality, between the knowledge with religion, it seems that there is no correlation. I mean, when people believe in religion, when people believe in God, it's not automatization or automatically they become smarter than the others. In fact, it's not. So I think the first reason why people, especially those who are still young, those who are still thinking a lot deep down in themselves, they try to asking so many questions to themselves. Why should I believe in God? Why should I follow the rules of religion? Which is in many cases they are so paradox, something like that. So finally they start to define themselves as those who no longer believe in God, who no longer follow the rules of religion. The first one is disappointment. That's the first reason. The second reason why they finally decide to be agnostic or atheist, this is no offense, please, because they read a lot. No offense, okay, because I read too, but I'm still a believer until today. But of course, different perspective with other believers. I think that's the second reason, because of the knowledge. They get new knowledge and they have new paradigm viewing the religions. They stand for they try to stand for other perspectives. So this is because of, for example, mostly agnostic or atheist in Indonesia, they must read the Richard Dawkins books, Carl Sagan, Yuval Noah, and so on and so forth. The same kind of those thinkers. They finally believe that is it true that I believe in God? Is it true that I'm still a believer today after seeing many facts that they cannot really prove that God exists? If God doesn't exist, so how could it be religion can be correct? Something like that, right? So they finally try to rethinking about their beliefs, and finally, mostly after that, they meet the positions of being agnostic or atheist. The third one, the reason why they decided become agnostic or atheist, because today this kind of phenomenon become like, pop culture. Many podcasts, I said before, many podcasts in Indonesia now brave enough to show the identity of being agnostic or atheist. This thing, even though this probably minor assumption, but then yes, it influenced many many young thinkers to finally bravely becoming the atheist or agnostic. So I think this is kind of critical phenomenon actually. We need to see deeper, and we need to look at further about this phenomenon. Let's see, for example, in 5 or 10 years, by having more dominant atheist or agnostic in Indonesia, is it good enough, or will it become a better impact to our social life by being agnostic or by being atheist? Will people much more mature to see the problems and to solve it, rather than what happened today? For example, one of the critics about the genocides of Palestine done by Israel in Indonesia, many youngsters decided to boycott many companies that they assume that they have the affiliation to Israel, supporting bombings in Palestine. But again, if we try to have a more critical think, is it true? The way of critics, is it true? I mean, by boycott the companies, do they think that there are so many Muslim works there and have the income to fulfill their family lives by having this kind of jobs? And then today, let's say the company is bankrupt, let's say Starbucks and so on and so forth, McDonald's, KFC, they go bankrupt. Do this radical youngster ready to have a responsibility of what they have trigger the company to finally bankrupt? What about the Muslim that finally lost their jobs? Do they, or are they responsible for having these new problems? They said that boycotting the companies that affiliated to Israel will help, even with the very minimum impact. But then this kind of help will make a new problems. The non-job people, especially the Muslim. What do you think about this? I mean, rather than solving this problem critically, it seems I just see, this is my assumption, this is more about the emotional subjective emotion that they throw without any further analytics or any further analysis, that this just make a new problem to our society life. That's why this phenomenon also trigger some of the people to be an agnostic or to be an atheist, because they think this is irrational. The critics is more irrational, so they decide to not following this kind of absurd critics or formula. They go for being agnostic or atheist. So I think many believers, especially the scholars, should start to seriously think about how to solve this phenomenon. I'm in a position, I don't want to force people to be agnostic or to be atheist, or vice versa. I don't want to force people to be still a believers because my subjective emotion. No, I don't think so, because in my opinion, religion is not multi-level marketing companies. Religion is the very private private belief between you and something that you called as the supernatural thing, or the highest being, which is God. It's supposed to be private, but how this privacy can influence and impact you to give something beneficial for others. That's what we call as the message of religion, right? In Islam, I'm a Muslim. I believe that rahmatan lil alamin means that the good impact for everything. It's not for everybody, for everything. It's for humans, it's for trees, it's for animals, for everything. I mean, even for the stones, for the tables, for the nation, everything. Something that we see literally lives, or uh, what is it, not alive, something like that. I mean, religion is supposed to be in that position. So religion is not supposed to be like the companies who try to have more employees rather than focus on their quality in building something beneficial for people. That's the point. So I think those three kind of triggers, those three kind of phenomenon finally trigger people to be the agnostic or atheist. So I think this phenomenon, in the other hand, is interesting, but this is also, the unpredictable things that probably triggers the nation to be more chaotic. I don't know, because me as a believer still believe that by religion we always have a hope. In many podcasts, many agnostic and atheists believe that this life is just what it is. So there is no special meaning about this life. So in quote, they try to make this life meaningful because they live only once. But I do believe that in further, if they were a believers, they will lose something so fundamental, which is hope itself. So by religion, by believing in God, we still have a hope of what's next, something like that. But those non-believers no more having this kind of hope. So they just live this life as better as they can do, of course, in their perceptions, because it will affect of course the morality, of course the liberalism. Liberalism means in this case is about they can do whatever they can do as long as there is no consequences if they do. Let's say the free sex. Those non-believers, of course, see this thing as the liberated and casual thing, rather than those who believe in Semitic religion. Free sex is forbidden, right? So I think it's more like the life pattern that will trigger us to be more like the animals. Please, no offense for the agnostic and atheist, because this is related to the morality that religion talks a lot, but you guys still have the confusion about the morality itself, because it just comes from yourself as a subjective, as a personal. So I'm sure that this is hard for us to meet in the same point, in the same stand, since you guys is no longer or is try to attack the religion as the imaginary things, right? If religion is imaginary, of course the regulation itself is gonna be the same, right? I think this phenomenon, the rising of agnostic and atheist in Indonesia, we should wisely see this slowly but critical. Is this good for our society, or is this gonna be like the opposite? I mean, this nation will go much more chaotic. In fact, still many believers, still many those who believe in God, but still they do the sins, right? What if this kind of people that today have no more gods, have no more religion, of course no more rules of religion, finally decide themselves about viewing the truth? It's gonna be I think a problem. So I think that's it. I know this video probably make people in Indonesia especially will have, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, but I just want to say that this phenomenon is not simple. Why people finally leaving their religion, and how people can still hold their religion, their God, until they die, and why many believers or many those who have religion still do the sins, even much worse: corruption, killing, murdering, many bad things, even though they have religion. This is also critical and fundamental question: why religion cannot help people to be better? If we agree that there is no problem with religion, but why the believers is so problematic, even though they have God, even though they have religion? We should think critically about this. So please be wise, because this phenomenon, I don't know, will end up like what. Okay, thank you for this shit video. If you want to comment, please show that you are good believers, that you are a good atheist, that you are wise agnostic. Okay, thank you, see you again, bye bye.